Hey, good afternoon. It's John again. I'm going to play Immaculate Grid. Thanks for hanging with me through yesterday's technical difficulties. Again, this is a very part-time thing. I don't spend much more time than the time I spend on camera making these things. And yesterday I couldn't even find my thing. I'm not going to hire an editor. So, this is very low value production. I appreciate everyone who tunes in to watch. I hope you get something out of it in spite of the low production value, and appreciate all the comments, people posting their scores and stuff. Just a thought. Just coming off of yesterday's game where I did really well, but my getting my Zoom to work was a little bit of a challenge. Let's get into it today. Let's share the old screen and let's get playing. There we go. That was yesterday's Rarity game. I'm going to play the time version. So hit refresh, hit and go, and away we go. All right, let's see. Dave Steebworks. Oh, I struggle with that category so much. Frank Thomas. Let's see. I'm sure Jose Abreu was an all-star. Great. All-star Tony Gwynn. Great. 300 in the Hall of Fame. Jackie Robinson works. 300 for a season. Carlos Delgado. Oh, this will be fun. I'm gonna go with Sean Green for Blue Jays first round pick. He works. Nice. Hall of Fame, first round pick, Chipper Jones. And Ken Griffey Jr. should work. All right, so I got there 54, 53 seconds. Rating score of 70, which I guess there's a lot of options here. So, someone like Jackie Robinson can take 0.4% when the categories are as broad as 300 average and Hall of Fame. So cool. This is a good one. A reliever could do that one. I don't really have anyone who could do that one off the top of my head who's a reliever. Obviously, there's plenty of people who could do it. But yeah, let's go ahead and hit refresh. I'm going to stop sharing my screen. Let's see if I can execute this transition a little bit smoother than yesterday. Nice little cough there. See, I would edit that out, but I'm not going to. So now I'm sharing the screen from yesterday. Let's hit refresh. First round draft picks are a fun one. Now I know I said 300 and they have 300 average, but first round draft pick, put 300 saves in there, 300 wins or something. I don't know. First round draft pick, all star. I remember looking up and seeing that Ken Bottenfield was a one-time all star with the Cardinals and was a first round draft pick. I thought I'd looked that up. Oh man, really? I was so sure I'd looked that up and seen it. All right, well, I was wrong on that. Wonder what I looked up then. Maybe I was just looking up all stars. Just fused it in my mind. Not a first round draft pick. Got it. All right. Well, let's see how rare we can get. Let's see how close to 100 we can get. 300 average batting in a season for the Blue Jays. I have a guy, Carlos Diaz, 1990. That's the guy. Great. Let's see. 300 average in a season, any Hall of Famer at all. Let's go with Bullet Rogan, chapter 15 of my book. Great player, all-time great. Nice. And then 300 average in a season from anybody who ever made an all-star team. Well, Francisco Rodriguez made many an all-star team and went 1 for 2 with the Brewers in 2011. Really should have started this way before I went to my weakest category. That's a little bit higher. It's like an order of magnitude higher than these guys, but that's all right. Let's see. Any all-star for the White Sox? Al Simmons certainly works. I'm sure you could get Nellie Fox in there. Luis Aparicio. Trying to think how, like, of some really rare ones. I come back to that. And also, like, who are some people who like were traded to or from the White Sox who made it in the Hall of Fame, but weren't there for a particularly long time? Because like Harold Baines is going to be very high. Frank Thomas, obviously very high. Although Frank Thomas also works up here. Um, but as far as people who just sort of, I think Griffey's going to be too obvious. Dick Allen's not in the Hall of Fame. Pretty sure he was an All-Star though with the White Sox. Maybe that'll work. Um, be very surprised. You know who will work is Gossage, I think. He goes .1. It's pretty good. Also would have been a good pick here, but see, Jim Cat will work. Um, Eddie Collins would be a decent pick. Um, Ed Walsh, right, would be a good pick. That guy, right? Yeah, sub one, decent. All right, and then White Sox and Blue Jays. Who sneaks in with both teams? I don't even know. Is that Dotel combo? Can never keep my Dotel combos straight. Except for like the really, really obvious ones. George Bell will work. George Bell was on the 93 White Sox, which faced the Blue Jays before going to the World Series. Bell, of course, won the MVP with the Blue Jays in 1987. For all I know, he was a first round draft pick, but I don't actually know, so I'm not going to put him there. Burley certainly works. I think it's going to be a high one. So let's see, Dave Steve, Burley, and Frank Thomas George Bell are the ones I've thought of so far that I think are decently big. You know who will be? Let's see how longtime Blue Jay, but let's see how Pat Borders does because he was briefly with the White Sox. Sub one. All right. So let's see here. First round draft pick in the Hall of Fame. Who's a not popular one? First, I'm gonna go with, I know Walt Weiss was a first round draft pick and he was definitely an all-star 1 year, so that was pretty good. I'd .05. Why did I waste that on? I was so sure about Ken Bonfield. Like, I looked him up, consciously believing him to be a first round draft pick. Um, let's see. First round draft pick for the Blue Jays or who played for the Blue Jays, because that's a key element of it. It could be by the Blue Jays or it could be anyone who played with the Blue Jays. That might be an easier way of thinking of it. Who are some players who came into Toronto? What about Brett Lowry? Traded from the Brewers. Takes 1%. And then, yeah, just never got around to that category. So, yeah, Kent Pottenfield, I was so sure on him. I wonder what I was thinking. All caps. It's like I'm screaming into the void that Kent Pottenfield wasn't a first round draft pick. Fourth round. Was I just looking up All Stars at some point? Maybe. All right. Well, I just had the wrong idea in my head, but at least this guy, so Bottenfield works for the Expos / Nationals. He works for the Rockies, works for the Giants. That's some Daryl Hamilton, Andres Galarraga territory there. Gets the Cubs Cardinals rivalry, gets the Angels Phillies non-rivalry, wraps up with Houston, which is also part of the old NL Central. Huh. All right. Humbling experience. We'll wrap up there. Thanks a lot for playing, and we'll be back at it tomorrow. Peace.